What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Cal One-on-One podcast. I'm your host, Nick Kosko, and our next guest on the program is Oakcrest head coach Mike Forrest. Coach, thanks for joining me, man, as we look ahead to the rest of our summer series. We're gearing up for the 2023 football season here in South Jersey. Pleasure to have you, and it's been a pretty good time for Oakcrest football. You guys turned it around last year. You go into 2023 with some more expectations. What's that transition been like from 22 to now 23?
It's been great, man. The guys are buying in. It's always a big deal to come in and get your culture the way you want it as a head coach. So I'm excited, man. Our guys are ready to go. They're all bought in. All the building blocks are in place. So it's just time to continue to build and continue to move forward with the vision and the core values of our program. And our guys are buying in. So I'm excited about it, man. It's been a great couple of years.
Absolutely. So you mentioned how it's been building, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but the summer right now going into September, well, really August now, as the season, starts so much earlier these days, but how's the summer prep been going since spring practice? And obviously you guys are probably gearing up for your actual training camp, getting your summer lifts in. How's that been going for your program this summer?
It's been going good. Right now we're like in a blackout period where we can't practice, but we'll be back to practice on July 5th. So we had a few practices the last couple weeks, just getting everything installed. We have a new offense going in, so we just installed some things, did a couple 7-on-7s, been doing pretty well, getting fluent, and just understanding what we're trying to throw at the guys. So it's been good, man. The lifting will continue July 5th, moving forward from there. So can't wait to get that going again.
Absolutely. So looking back just a couple of years ago, you guys were under 500. Then last year, you're over 500, make it to the South Jersey Group 2 semifinals. So just a game shy of a sectional final appearance.
Yeah.
What's that process been like going from year to year? And now that you have Oakcrest football suddenly we have bigger expectations once again.
Yeah. That was real big for us. One of the things I wanted the guys to know is that this is where we're going to be. Get used to, competing for a playoff and a championship, and, the first year we went to the playoffs, we kind of like snuck in there. We was on the bottom. We had 3 wins, but somehow we kind of like slid in there. So, I was just telling our guys, look, let's go there. Let's get this experience. Let's see what, these playoff teams are doing. I want you to, take advantage of the atmosphere and what's going on and get used to this because we'll be back. And then the following year we came back. Things didn't go our way. But this year, I expect to be back in that same position, and hopefully we can get over that hump, man, and get to that sectional title game.
Absolutely. That'd be great for the program. So you have a couple players coming back, or actually a good amount of players coming back. Some guys that you have to probably replace along the offensive and defensive line. So we'll get into that in a second as well. But who are some of the guys that you're looking at that you've seen through spring and now the summer going into the fall? Who are some guys you want to highlight that people may not know about or may have heard of from last year? Who really stood out so far going into 23?
Our quarterback, Marcus Lee, he's doing well. I hired a quarterback coach, so he's doing this thing on the whiteboard with him. So he's starting to understand things a little better. So he's been doing really well out there for 7-on-7. We had a guy. He's going to be playing tight end. His name is Aiden Oldfield. He's about 6'4" tight end. He played a little offensive tackle for us last year because we were kind of short on that end. So he kind of like did it. He did a team thing, you know what I mean? A captain type move, you know what I mean? To step in and help us on our O-line. But this year he'll be going back to his regular position. So he'll be catching some passes for us. Sean Torres will be back. He will be playing defensive end. He's going to be doing well. Our offensive line, we have one returner on our offensive line, Evan McMahon. He'll be playing some guard. Zachary Forrest, he's our only returner that is from both sides of the ball, starting at DB and at receiver and special teams. We have some transfers that came in. So we're excited, man. Let me see if I'm forgetting anybody. You always forget people. You know what I mean? I hate that they're gonna be on me when they watch this. But just thinking about the returners, we had a lot of older guys in that secondary. So they kind of moved on. Azir Stukes is back. He played a corner for us last year, but we have some transfers that's gonna, help him with that as far as DB and safety wise. Our running backs are back. Jaleel Williams, he started as a freshman for us last year, so he'll be a sophomore coming in. Lawrence Bennett will be in the mix as well. Lawrence is coming back from a broken ankle, and he looks great, man. Like it never happened. So I'm excited for him. We have Sam Mensah who's behind him. So we kind of our running back room is full right now. So we're ready to go,
Noted.
man. We're
Absolutely.
ready to
And
go.
you mentioned Lee and Forrest, that quarterback wide receiver duo. I know you guys had Aldrick Doe last year. Saw you
Yeah.
guys in action against Middle Township, and he obviously can make a world's amount of plays. So looking at, do you expect Forrest to step up as your wide receiver one this year? And what do you make of the combination? You mentioned how your quarterback Marcus Lee is working with a new quarterback coach, kind of
Mhm.
basically just improving upon his 2022 season. Do you expect that to be one of the better duos that we'll see in South Jersey?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think they're at that point where they're ready to come over that hump. You know what I mean? No more sophomore and freshman stuff. Like it's you going into your junior year. This is very important. So I believe both of them. Marcus being a senior, Z being a junior. I think he's ready to go and take on that role. I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I think he's ready to go, man. He's my son, so I see him every morning. I'm like, come on, man, it's time to get busy and make these big plays that I know you can make. So I'm excited for him. I think he'll make the jump, and I think he knows mentally that he has to. You know what I mean? Like I think he's starting to understand. Like I got to be able to make these big plays and kind of, put the team on my back a couple times a game just to make things work. So I think he'll be fine.
How does that dynamic work between you and Z on the field? Obviously, you have the father-son relationship off the
Yeah.
field. Does it carry over on the field, or is it pretty much all business as most I would say father-son coach and player duos go?
Yeah, it's definitely business when we're out there. Sometimes he'll call me dad out there. Sometimes he'll mess around, say coach, just to be funny. But um, I've been coaching him for a long time, man. So we kind of uh, got the blueprint on how to remain professional and how to make that separation between the two. So I never wanted to be a dad that is a daddy ball type dad. You know what I mean? Like I always just made sure that, my boys were ready to go and trained up from young ages. So when they're out there, there's no mistake that they should be. And not just because they're my sons, but because they're at the best at their position.
Absolutely. So nothing, almost nothing better than being able to coach your son. You got
Oh
obviously
man,
two more years with him
it's great.
in 23 and 24. So you
Hmm.
mentioned how the veterans that are coming back are going to be the mold and the core of this team, trying to get
Yeah.
back to the playoffs and maybe get to a sectional final here
Hmm.
later this fall. But you mentioned how, especially the offensive line in particular, only one guy coming back that was a starter last year that's actually going to be in that starting five. How do
Yeah.
you manage the young guys coming up, whether it's the offensive line, other positions around the team? How do you develop these young guys to step up into bigger roles right here on the varsity squad when this team, as we mentioned before, does have a lot of expectations?
Yeah. A lot of off-season work. And we've been working with a lot of these guys last year too, just preparing them and letting them know, like, you know what, this is going to be you next year. And the guys have been ready. They've been sitting back ready for their opportunity. And they're younger. So a lot of across the line, we'll have a sophomore and we'll be loaded with juniors. So it's going to be a young line. So this is going to be a good crop of guys that we're going to be able to rock with this year and the years to come. So we as coaches, we have our coaches that just do developmental work while other things are going on the field. So we're learning how to make sure those guys are ready when their time is called. Make sure that on JV level they were doing the things that they were supposed to do. And as the year rolled in, we kind of let them know, like, listen, guys, you guys are going to be projected starters. You're coming in, the spot is yours unless someone takes it from you. So don't let that happen. Lift, do all the things that we've been teaching you, and let's go to work.
No doubt about that. Oakcrest football head coach Mike Forrest with me here on Cal 101 on Cape Atlantic Live on YouTube. Coach, couple more for you. Looking at the Cape Atlantic League, of course, it's transitioned away in football terms because of the West Jersey Football League when that merger happened. And I believe, I was talking to somebody else about this the other day, just almost, between 8 and 10 years ago at this point, I feel
Yeah,
like it hasn't been the Cape Atlantic League since I was in high school
yeah.
10 years ago. So, but the teams are still the same. You guys relatively play the same schedule, maybe a couple other teams sprinkled in there. But when you look at the talent of the Cape Atlantic teams that are still playing mostly together, separate divisions, of course, but you basically play that same schedule. When you look at that talent, do you see a rising talent base in South Jersey in these two counties? It seems like it's only gotten better year to year.
Yeah, for sure. I always thought South Jersey had some of the best athletes around. It's been that way since I was playing in my days, and it's still going the same way. You always see some talent. Every team that we play, you see something special out there. And we're excited to get back to playing like the mainlands and the Vinelands and things like that. We used to play them back when I played, and it has been, switched around a little bit, like you mentioned. But it's kind of cool to have it switched back around. Atlantic City's on our schedule. I remember playing them every year. We play mainland every year. You know what I mean? So it's good to have those guys back on our schedule and just to see the talent that's local right here in Atlantic County.
No doubt. So I'll leave you here with this one, Coach. You're looking ahead to 23. You mentioned the expectations, sectional final, maybe a sectional title win in 2023
Yes,
in,
sir.
in
Yeah.
November. Absolutely. So
Uh-huh.
when you look at that, what kind of message do you want to send to the school, the fan base, and the community around Oakcrest High School, and obviously the message you want to echo from your team? What is that like, knowing that, all right, this is a team that could potentially contend for
Mhm.
South Jersey Group 2 and, represent with the playoffs expanded, maybe they go even further, and
Yeah.
build off of 2022. How do you send that message to everybody around Oakcrest?
Man, it would be something special. I think it's something that this area needs. It's been so long since something great has football wise. I remember Chuck Smith took Oakcrest to the championship game versus Cherokee years back. They didn't come out with the win, but it was just so cool just to see them go. I was coaching at another place at that time, but I came in and watched because I'm an Oakcrest Falcon. I went to Oakcrest, so it was just good to see those guys in there, man. And a lot of time has passed, and I see the community is behind us. The community has some excitement about Oakcrest again, and that was my number one thing. I just wanted Oakcrest to be relevant again. I just wanted Oakcrest to be in the conversation for all these athletic young men and great young men and academically ready young men just to, consider us, because it was for a while, Oakcrest wasn't even in the conversation. They were either going to, some of the private schools, or they were going to a different school across the way. Like it was just, but now people are saying, look, man, I don't know, I might go here. I'm thinking about going to Oakcrest. So like, that's always good. Even if they don't come, it's just great that we're starting to make a shift and change the dynamics of everything where the kids will want to stay home. And if the kids stay home, and I'm just talking Mays Landing alone, man, we will be in the playoffs contending for a championship every year, without a doubt. So it's been great to, talk to the guys about, hey, man, just you guys are, the pioneers of bringing Oakcrest back to where I believe it should be, and this community believes it should be. So I don't want them to take that lightly. And I want this year to be the year where we finally put it together, man. Year 3, um, we've been pouring into these dudes, and now it's like, all right, man, let's just go out there and have fun. Um, we got some transfers that came in that's going to be able to help us, and we're just excited, man. The coach, we can't, the group chat's going off. We just can't stop talking about what we want to do and how excited we are to get back on that field, man. It's just going to be an exciting time.
1 week away from a training camp getting into full swing for you
Yes,
guys.
sir.
Coach, I appreciate the time. As always, good luck this season. We'll be seeing you out there when you guys visit mainland, of course. Can't
Okay.
wait for that. Can't wait for that game as well. It's going to be a good one to watch. and we'll see if you guys can fulfill that promise to Mays Land, get to the South Jersey Group 2 finals, and bring a championship back to Oakcrest.
Yes, sir. I hope so. So you're going to be at the mainland game?
And we'll be there. Absolutely.
Nice, man. All right. I'll see you there, man. Make sure you come on the field and that shake up on the 50.
Absolutely, my man. Head coach Mike Forrest, Oakcrest Football on Cal 1-on-1 right here on Cape Atlantic Live.